Spread my wings and fly away.
Okay, guys, this is episode 2 of Life After Death While Living. And this episode is going to be about my mother. I guess we're going to get right into it. There's no reason to really beat around the bush. I will give you guys the story and go from there. So, May 10th, 2012. It was the day before junior prom. We had just went shoe shopping, and I had came home to noticing that my toes were stained blue. So me and my mom, I'm yelling at her. I'm like, Mom, what am I gonna do? My toes are stained blue. And I couldn't figure out why they were stained blue until I looked in the sock bag and realized that one of her kids put blue markers in the sock bag. So we had a little laugh. Everyone who knows me knows I slept with my mom even at 16, and no one could get me to stop sleeping with her. So from that point on, my mom had to move my bed in her room. So my bed was in her room, and she slept in her bed. And that night, I happened to lay in my mattress. And then right after that, my mom she went to bed, and she woke up in the middle of the night looking for her asthma pump or her nebulizer, and a tiny piece, which made all the difference, had broke off her nebulizer. So we tried going in the bathroom to see if the steam would help, and then we went in the living room. After calling 911, I called my aunt, I called my sister's godmom, and everybody to see if they had any like nebulizer or treatment or anything that they could bring her. And they did, so they were on their way. But I called them after I had called the ambulance, but the ambulance was taking too long. And so at that time, we were standing in the living room, and I remember her just trying to catch her breath. You know, what it's like seeing someone like panting, and it was like she just couldn't catch her breath, and then next thing you know, she hit the floor. And then after she hit the floor, I remember running outside, and like at that time, death wasn't going through my head. I was thinking maybe she just gotten weak. And then when the ambulance came in and they said they were working on her, I'm like trying to see what's going on, but nobody's saying anything. They asked for us to be taken out of the house, and I knew something was wrong. Then they said they were going to the hospital to work on her, and those were like the worst hours of my life, or what felt like hours. To be honest, I can't even tell you how long it was. They took me and my sisters to my cousin Kim's house, and my brother was in the hospital at the time, so he didn't even know what was going on. And I remember laying in the bed, and Kim walked in the room, and she said, "Yeah, the tech plus." And I just remember being like, why? Like, why? Like, no, not my mom. You know, the normal things you say when you get that call, like, she's gone. So I'm like, that's my mom. My mom's not gone. And then for days and days after being in denial, I remember I was just talking to her like she wasn't gone. It was I felt the urge to just still scream for her. Mom, you know, you're feeling anger. You're filled up with so much emotion. You don't know, like, you don't know how to feel at a time like that. I didn't know how to feel at a time like that. Like, all I knew was my mom was gone. And, yeah, I remember then I took a Xanax because that was probably going to be the only thing that helped me go to sleep. I was imagining my mom. I was at my Aunt Sonia's house at that point, and I was imagining my mom was a teddy bear that was there, and that was the only thing that calmed me down. And I think from that moment on, the big issue for me was picturing her gasping for air. I think that's what triggers my anxiety, because I would feel my body starting to see her, and it's like at a moment I felt like I was trying to get that breath that she couldn't catch. So that was really hard. And from that time on, I've dealt with really bad anxiety. And then, you know, then came the funeral and seeing her, and she looked beautiful. She looked at peace, but you still don't want to see your mom like that. You don't. And I didn't, for sure. And it was hard to say goodbye. I didn't go to the burial. It took me a long time afterwards to be able to go to the cemetery. Still to this day, I don't go unless I really have to. I felt like a piece of me left for a long time. And from that moment on, the next day after the funeral, I remember being in Seaside. I was getting lit, like lit. And from that point on, that's what I was doing. We were having fun. I felt like there wasn't any adult that could tell me anything, that could check me. Life went on that way. Like, I was like, I'm gonna party. Like, I was with my friends all the time. I was turning 17 at the time, and I was doing my own thing, and not really having a care in the world. Like, I just felt like, who do I have now? Who can say something to me now? Nobody. And that was the wrong mindset as well. And then at least I had something to at least keep me a little grounded, because I thought me and my siblings were going to be together. And it was ironic because that day, right when my mom came home from the hospital, we had a conversation in the car. And being that she was staying at the hospital with my brother while he was getting his surgery, I was like, Mom, I don't know what I would do if I lost you. She's like, what you mean you don't know what you want to do? You want to take care of your siblings? I'm like, no, I ain't. I said, it's been hard with you going these couple days. She's like, you'll be all right. She was like, I know one thing, my kids better never get separated. That was my mom's only dying wish. It's the only wish I ever heard her speak of, is that if anything happened to her, we never get separated. And then little behold, a few months later, you know, life happens. Me and my brother were given custody to my grandmother, but at that time, like I said, I was feeling like I was grown, so I don't care who said anything. At that point, I'm going where I want to go, which is back home with my aunt. And that's what I did, and that's where I stayed. My brother went to stay with his friends. My younger sister, she stayed at my aunt's house with me, my younger sister Nave, and my sister Samaje stayed with her father's mother. And at that point, it felt like another loss, because my siblings were home. So it's like, at that point, I lost everything I knew as home. My mom, my siblings, the sanity was like gone. And people didn't really realize, but I knew, because, again, I'm inside my head. Only I know what I'm dealing with. And that probably was by far the worst pain. And heartache that I left, especially because my siblings don't have that figure anymore. It's more than just me. It's us. That was us. But as time went on, I ain't gonna say I got better, but the panic attack stayed. They continued, but like I said, I was living life clouding judgment with so many other things. So I never thought to think about how my siblings might be grieving. I never took the time to think about how my grandmother and my aunt might be grieving. I became real selfish. I would go to work, school, but at that point school was almost out. So it was summertime, so I was just cutting up. I started smoking. I didn't smoke when my mom was here. I started smoking. I'm just like, it is what it is. That was the party days. And that wasn't a life to live. So I guess you could say for me that was an unhealthy way of grieving, trying to cloud it, and I see myself build up with jealousy of why other people have their moms, why I don't have mine, seeing people with their moms. You know, I wouldn't wish this pain on anybody in the world, so I wouldn't even say I'd want to trade to put it on anyone else, but it hurt to see everyone bonding with their mom. And for me, it created attachment issues with other women. Like, I allowed older women to get closer to me, and hearing everyone say, oh, you know, if there's anything you need or anything, and then it not turning out to be that way, that definitely hurt. But you can't blame anybody for what you're going through, and you can't ever expect or think that something is owed to you because of your loss. So I snapped out of that real quick. Nobody's entitled to treat me anyway. Nobody's entitled to be a mother figure to me, because at the end of the day, I'm not your kid, you're not my mom. There's no void. It's like I continued living life trying to fill the void. A void that could never be filled, because that was my mom. That was the woman who made me me. She completed me, and I'll forever be thankful for the mom that I had. My mom was a hustler. She was a go-getter, man. You'll know about Mina, man. She definitely was gonna go get it, but I can't go into too much details about where life went, because I'll only be stopping episode 3. But I just want you to get the gist that that's when the anxiety started. That's when the bad days and the cloudy thoughts came alive, because you don't want to be alive at a time like that. Well, I can't say you, me. I didn't want to be alive at a time like that. I didn't want to know what it was going to be like living life without my mom, my best friend. So you don't want to, I keep saying you to maybe like, you know, take the pressure off me, but I'm talking about me. I didn't want to picture a life without my mom, so that dark cloud forever hovered, and I moved forward, and I'm thankful for the people, my friends, and everybody who kind of just stuck around to make those days easier. And coming to the next video, you'll probably have a better understanding as the time frame goes on. Each episode, you know, it might sound like, where's she going with this, or something like that, but ultimately it all ties together at some point. I just have to get to those certain time frames to really understand grief and the things that I dealt with. So in that case, I'm just going to tune out now, and hopefully next episode you get more details on the time frame of where life took me and how it took me. And no, I'm still fighting, and I'm still living life after this death. So, thank you guys for watching. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next episode. Thanks.